Beauty fam, welcome to Mickey Car Beauty, and today I'm doing a first impression of the new reformulation of the Dior foundation. And I ended up getting both the matte and the Forever Glow, the Glow Hydrating, but today I have on my face the matte foundation. Do a really quick review since I just got these in the mail, and do a review for you today. And so if you're interested, then keep watching. Now, these were reformulated to be what they call, I guess, clean beauty. And it's interesting, it took a while. I actually ordered these on Nordstrom, and it's almost been a month that I got them from when I ordered them. It took quite a while, and then the way it came packaged, the boxes ended up coming a little bit damaged. Nordstrom just really threw it in the box, and you can see there's some dents on the packaging and scuff marks, and you kind of don't want things to just be thrown in there. So either way, you know, if that bothers you, you might want to order directly from Dior's website itself or another retailer that might not just throw them in the box haphazardly. So I'm just going to show you really quickly kind of what I'm talking about. Dior Forever, the next generation clean foundation. And they're claiming it's a 24-hour wear foundation, that it has 86% floral skincare, that they claim that visibly improves the skin day after day. 42 shades, 2 finishes, no transfer in the matte or hydrating glow formula. So I ended up getting both the hydrating and matte formula, and the way you can tell is that this is a little bit more shiny and this is more matte. I have on and off worn the old formula, and the reason that did not work for me was that I was having a reaction to something in the formula, and the only thing that I can guess is that a doctor had told me that sometimes bismuth can cause breakouts in makeup. So once I stopped using the old formula of Dior, I stopped breaking out, which was a shame because there's something about the Dior color stories that actually work for me. And 3WO, 3 Warm Olive Glow, ends up being my shade match. And it's kind of like this warm but olive neutral undertone, which works well for me. I'm going to use the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, a little bit of the Chanel Hydro Beauty UYEU eye cream gel, and I like to use that under my eyes. I usually put timestamps on my video so that you can already scroll ahead if you'd like. So that is one pump. Okay, that is one side of my face. It's a pretty good shade match. Let me do the other side and one more pump. Okay, so that is the first round of coverage. So basically it looked like it would take 2 pumps to completely cover my entire face. Using what remainder I have, just going in to spot conceal. To be emphasizing the lines that I have when I smile. So when my cheeks naturally go up, it causes more lines to appear. This foundation could be emphasizing it more, and I don't know if you can see, but from far away it looks fine, but when I'm up close I can see that it does emphasize like the aging parts of my face. So I'm gonna powder this down. And I have to say, there's definitely some dewiness, so it does need to be powdered down. So I'm going to go ahead with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder and my Wayne Goss Airbrush. Go ahead and use that to powder and set the foundation. With full coverage, I really feel like it doesn't emphasize or show any of my hyperpigmentation or blemishes. So I have a blemish here. Some of that redness is coming through. You can see some texture here. Okay, so it's powdered down. And I'll get in a little bit closer so you can see. This is one of the Viseart palettes I ended up getting during their sale. And this is Minx Attendu. So that is the Viseart Minx Attendu. And so I'm wearing a plum colored thermal shirt, so I thought this would be a really nice palette to play with. Grab my Sonia G crease too here, because this might be good for putting in the crease. Okay, so that again is this shade here. Really nice color, a wash of color. It's very neutral, at least on my tan skin tone. And that's the nice thing about these Viseart mattes, is that they're just so easy and to blend out, very beginner friendly. There's a hint of orange in there, which is nice, with some, it almost looks like some purple undertones at the same time with my skin tone. Taking a Forever 14 brush, going into that orangey shade here. Taking some of this other matte here, is a bit darker. It actually looks brighter in the camera, but it's actually a deeper brown. And just using that to really just start to build up that outer V corner area. And then dragging whatever I have left into the mobile lid, the socket here. Take that deep purple shade here, the shimmery one. Just taking my Sonia G Builder brush from the Lotus series and just taking that on one side and tapping it a little bit just to see how it builds. Oh, it's really pretty. The original brush I started with, no new product, just blending out the edges. And then flipping the brush over, because the other side's clean, into that orange shade right underneath it. Okay, and then taking my Hakuharu J242 brush, this one, and then going in with this shimmer shade here, just going down this row here, and then using that for some dimension. This bronzy color, I want to use as much of the palette as possible. Purple shade, and just taking it in here to create the depth on the outer lashes here. this one was a little bit patchy, so I'm going to go with my finger and see if the application is better with my finger. I take some of this shimmer color and just pop it in the oval lid to make the area pop a little bit more. I'm going to take a clean brush, the Wayne Goss 03, and I'm just kind of buffing the edges and blending it all together. Wayne Goss 02, just taking the lightest shade here for my brow bone. What I'm going to do is finish my eyes and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back and I finished my Mink Set Busy Art look with the mascara from Pat McGrath and on top, and MAC Giga Black at the bottom. I smudged it, so I'm going to let it dry so I can brush it away. And then with my Surratt brown liquid eyeliner. And so it's a very pretty look. I really like it. It reminds me of a more grown-up bronze palette, sister palette of Natasha Denona. I like it because it's not too shimmery. What I didn't love so much about that bronze palette, I still have it. I loved it a lot. I think was a lot of fallout with that, and I love this shimmer shade and the gold underneath. So it's kind of like a sultry grown-up glam. I really like it, actually. It's I like it a lot better than I thought I would. I'm trying to do the rest of my face. So I'm using the Victoria Beckham Bronzing Brick Duo, and I'm doing my contour now with the Lotus Series detail brush. It's the angled one. And what I'm noticing is that texture seems to be being emphasized more. So I can see kind of like my acne and pockets more of pores more with this foundation, whereas I don't even see that as much with the $44 Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I'm just using that, and then the Clé de Peau Radiant Cream Foundation. Those are the two foundations that I recently reviewed. So, you know, this is like a $52 foundation and it's luxury beauty. I kind of was thinking it might be even better than those other two, but so far I'm not super impressed. So I'm now using the bronzing part. And there's something about this formula just seems to be emphasizing more of the lines I have, and you might not see it, but I do. When it pulls up, I can see much more lines. This is the Phase 2 Sonia G, trying the Bellini Laura Mercier blush. Thought it might go well with this look. I lowered the light a little bit because I'm worried that the lighting situation is a bit different. Taking my Chantecaille highlighter with an old brush of mine, the Fenty highlight brush, which is actually great because it kind of hugs this area right here. Now I remember the downsides of this brush. It sometimes deposits too much product at once. So I have to like diffuse a little bit, but that's okay. I can see that it just put too much down, but you know, it does the job. I'm taking this blurring powder and just using it like not a finishing powder, it just blurs everything together so it looks a little bit more seamless. And then sometimes if there's too much product in the cheek area, I can buff away a little bit that area, just chill it out a little bit and sculpt a little bit more here. Do you see that? Just blurs and blends things more. Just makes it a little bit more seamless. And we're going to do that here, so you're going to see it. See how it just took that stripe a little away, so it blends a little bit more. Okay, so it looks a little bit more natural, if you will. So I'm starting this thing where I just decluttered my entire makeup collection, and I'll link the video above. And something I've been trying to do is try to figure out how to track what products I'm using. And I don't know if you remember, you some of have heard of the tip of in your closet, you can find out, you can, in the beginning of the year, you put the hangers one way and you'll know which ones the clothes you haven't worn by the hanger facing the correct way in. So what I did with my lipstick is actually I flipped them upward so I could see the color up, so that, which helps me figure out what I'm grabbing to. And then after I use that lipstick color, I will flip it over and then it'll usually have like the icon. So for instance, I just bought this one, and so at the beginning I put this face up so I could see it, and once I used it I flipped it this way so I can already see in my lipstick collection what I'm using. So I was gonna grab this, but I've used it already. So this is Taupe Ispahan, one of my favorite lipsticks from 2021, and I'll link that video, my best of beauties, my faves. And I love every single color of these Diorific lipsticks from last year. I ended up getting the Minadore lipstick case. Those lipsticks are pretty as well. It's kind of colors for all the seasons, spring and then holiday, but all of these I feel like are richer formulas. This Diorific, and I don't know if anyone knows of Dior, if this formula is supposed to be more creamy, but I am definitely grabbing these colors more. And I just love this color because it's like, for me and my skin tone, it just ends up being this perfect, it's just really beautiful color. I always try to do a check-in a little bit after dinner and before I wash my face. I love the eyeshadow look. You check that out. So, I mean, far away, it looks beautiful. I mean, also I have a lot of makeup on, and that's the thing with great lighting and then the great primer. And I always call it the Chantecaille blurring powder effect. But, you know, I mean, I'm not a fan of matte foundations in general, just because I have a lot of matte foundations that are probably, my first impressions I'm going to guess are probably better than this, like the La Mer foundation. These are probably my 3 favorite matte foundations, the Ultra Latent Chanel. And this is my holy grail. If I am gonna have a long day, this is the one I'm gonna grab for, just because it just looks great. And I have not found a formula that will topple this yet. So it's gonna take a lot for this to overcome this. I also love the La Mer foundation, the soft fluid long wear foundation. Also long wear, I don't know what it claims to be, how long, but also the soft matte is also a beautiful matte foundation. And with these 3 mattes, I don't notice my pores and fine lines when I smile as much, but this Dior one, I'm definitely seeing more fine lines. So I'm going to sign off and then I'll come back in a couple hours. Hi Beauty Fam, it's about 4 hours since I put on the foundation and I have not powdered. So I wanted to do a quick check-in. And here's the thing, the saving grace about matte foundations is that my skin is very oily. So even if it's pretty matte, my natural oils will come through. So it's been 4 hours. I've cleaned up a little bit. I've ate dinner. Hence the lipstick is different. I have some Tom Ford, I believe it's Tom Ford Ravish lip gloss, this one here. And so it looks pretty dewy. I mean, I'll get up close so you can see that my oils are definitely peeking through. And what I can do now is actually show you what happens if I powder it down. So what I'm going to do is grab my airbrush Wayne Goss brush, and then grab the original Tilbury compact that I used in the medium, and just again going down to powder down some of these oily spots. And I know one technique is that you're not really supposed to put powder and that you should be using an oil blotter, but I just want you to see really quickly what it looks like if I add some powder to this. So it does tamper down the shine, but then I have somewhat of a natural glow. So it's not bad. Actually, I didn't like how it went on super matte when we first started. So let me see if I can get in closer so you can see again. And actually seems to be wearing down really nicely, even though it started out matte. And that's what I'm remembering about this foundation, and that's why I liked it. That I didn't really like it necessarily. It wasn't that great when I first started it, but throughout the day, because I'm so oily, that it just ended up looking really kind of like a nice dewy finish, as opposed to the new Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. It's already dewy. And even if I powdered it down, it looks really, really oily. And I'll link the video above of this. So when it's already dewy, it's really hard to maintain the oil on a very emollient foundation throughout the day. Whereas on a matte foundation, just because my natural oils come through, I end up having a nice glow in a way. So, and let me turn down the lighting a little bit. So I turned down my ring light a little bit. So sometimes these ring lightings, the studio lightings, can really blow out the look and the skin tone and depth. So I lowered the light a little bit just so you can see what it looks like in a more natural state. And so I think it's actually looking pretty darn good. And I'll see you at the next check-in. Hi, Beauty Fam. I just want to do a last check-in. It is about 8 hours after I put on this makeup, and I will say that on camera it looks really pretty, but in real life it's very dry in this cheek area. And this is where I mostly have my dryness and eczema and rosacea. And I definitely prepped my skin and put a lot of primer on. So I think the fact that this is a matte foundation is just not really flattering to this area of my face. So I'll try this foundation a couple times this week, but my first impressions are that it's not really a great foundation for me. If you have aging skin, if you have really dry skin, or you just don't prefer matte foundations, I don't think this is a good matte foundation at all. I think there's plenty of matte foundations that actually don't age you in a way. So those are just my initial first impressions, and then if there's any new developments, I will ping a comment below. Thank you for watching my first impressions of this new Dior reformulation of the matte formula. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing, commenting below, and subscribing. That would be great. And as always, please be very kind to yourself and others, and just be you. And until the next video, take good care. Bye.